All right, guys, welcome back to State of the Game. Let's talk about what happened this past weekend. That is, of course, the Dreamhack Summer Open, or Dreamhack Summer in general, which was just a great tournament across the board for, I think, all the games. But the StarCraft 2 tournament it was just good. It was just, I mean, I don't know any major flaws that I saw. I think if you're going to kind of reference the production, I think that the intro going into the finals as soon as they went on TV was probably the best intro hype video I think that we've seen to date in StarCraft 2. I felt like that was a huge moment, and the jib camera going across the audience is a shot that obviously we've seen before in StarCraft 2, but it was just very, very well done. You had storylines across the board. Of course, I'm just using every buzzword in our scene possible, but it was just a great tournament. I think Stardust winning was simply incredible. I mean, that's a player that he even said himself last night on Live on 3 and in several other interviews, like, prior to that tournament, he was a nobody. He was just a Korean StarCraft 2 player that was good, but he was not a well-known name. And now after the tournament, he described it as a quote-unquote miracle, and he could not believe where he is. So that tournament was fantastic. That's kind of my general wording of it. Ben, why don't you start off? What did you think of DreamHack this past weekend?
I was very, very busy this weekend, so I wasn't able to watch all of it. I had the stream running like all weekend, but I was just kind of checking in from time to time. My highlighted moment was Nathanius and iNcontroL trying to imitate Kevin and me.
Well, Nathanius doesn't have to try. He just speaks.
He sounds just like you.
He sounds just like you.
It kind of freaks me the fuck out because I'll be listening to the cast and then I'll hear myself and I'll be like, the fuck? But, obviously DreamHack always knocks it out of the park. The games that I saw were really exciting and fun. The commentary was top notch. Jeff did a great job as always. I don't really have a whole lot of great shit to add to it other than, once again, I've really been cheering hard for TLO recently, and once again, I was sad to see him come just so close, but fall short.
The live TLO game was not streamed as well, right?
It was a consolation match.
It was consolation, so it wasn't streamed. Okay. It's a little bit unfortunate. Yep. TLO did win that, so we'll see him at the DreamHack final. So he still obviously does quite well there.
Just such a sick run, beating Squirtle like he did, and then running into Tasia.
Yeah.
Just really unfortunate. Of course, Show versus Life is probably the story of the tournament. I didn't get to watch that series, but
Show Life
I watched that series.
Insanity.
Holy shit! I was shouting at the screen, and I generally don't do that when I'm just watching.
Well, that final game was so back and forth, man. Show was almost out of it when those mutas were over his racks and everything.
He was really close to dying. Like, he was a stubborn motherfucker, and he kept in the game at that point. And you know what amazes me is that I don't generally ever see a foreign player able to keep up with a Korean and not actually make the mistakes. When we use the term like going full foreigner, what we usually see is a foreign player's ahead, he's doing really, really well, and then we have this moment where the Korean just flips the switch, and then the foreign player makes a mistake and kind of falls to pieces, and his mindset just goes all to hell, and we didn't see that with Show, even when he was being pushed back.
Yeah. Yes and no. Like, the mental part, no. But we definitely saw a full foreigner attempt. Like, he got way ahead. He sniped a third, crushed the army. The Metalists were down to like 3 or 4. And then Life did flip that switch, and Show did go full foreigner where he's like, let's rally everything out anyways! And like stuff kept dying. And normally the
He was splitting like a boss the entire way, though. I mean, you got to give him credit for that.
Well, hey, you're doing that thing that almost makes us arch enemies where you cut me off where it's just where I'm criticizing because I was about to get to the complimentary part and I'm like, this Show hater, like, he's fucking horrible! No, that's not what I was saying. But what I am saying is that there was a moment where he extended down to on Star Station, the like 4 o'clock base.
Yes.
And it was going okay, but then there was that spillover moment where there was enough Metalists, enough Lings to start grabbing resupplies all the way back to an expansion, and then it ended up pushing inside Show's main. And I got to tell you, having been in that room, because when Show was winning, people were like, everyone in the audience was like this, like the commentators were like looking at each other like, what is happening? And Show, it was the weirdest feeling, because I got to tell you, going into that, if Show doesn't know this, then I feel bad to like throw everyone under the bus, but there was not a single fucking person in that building that thought Show had a chance. Not even a chance.
Well, no.
Except for Show. And everyone, like, it's not even that. It's that Show is the unadopted, redheaded stepchild of a drunken, cocaine-filled mother that Sweden never claimed. Yeah, that's how bad he had it, man. It's really rough.
Jesus.
Everyone is a Thorzane fan, a Naniwa fan, a Sase fan, and then the hipster, like the Bens and Kevins of Sweden. They're all about like sort of, and maybe like some of these new Protoss players a little bit, but
that's
it's really
not
sort
fair.
of.
Kevin would be the first guy to sing Show's praises, because Show was that guy that back in the StarCraft 2 Wings of Liberty beta was considered one of the best players out there. So Roddy regularly says, guys, Show is that player that was good when everyone was on even footing. He was the best when everyone was equal. So if he put in the effort, he could be the best again. And I think this, we see a great performance out of him here, perhaps, as a testament to that.
I agree. You'd say that about every European. So what I was saying, Show is like clearly the underdog of Sweden. Like he was not one of the absolute favorites. He's one of the favorites, but not one of the absolute favorites. So when he was the Swede that emerged, there was kind of this like, yay, Sweden guy, like, really excited. But he won people over there because he fucking, in his interviews, he was awesome. Like he was having a good time, but he was also like willing to be like, he's like, if I beat him, I'm winning the tournament. He's the final boss. Like, I can do this. When everyone else was like, all right, Show. Yeah, you got confidence. But
And for the record, my favorite Swede is Bishu.
There you go.
Okay. Everyone's got one.
Incredible match. The place blew up. And I was there when Thorzane beat Polt. This was, in my opinion, more explosive.
I have one gripe with Dreamhack. Can you fucking get a new track to use when someone wins a goddamn game? I'm so tired of hearing Alesso. I'm so tired of hearing Alesso with "Lose My Mind" and what was the other? They used another track this time from the same artist.
I have to know, were they playing the Big Bad Wolf as they were getting ready for the?
I did not hear that once.
They lacked that.
I did not hear that once.
Is there no Big Bad Wolf?
They have like 5 or 6 things that they absolutely love that I don't think they'll ever change just
Swedish
because
Mafia is the guys that they keep playing.
Oh, okay. Well, Alesso is a part. Or no, he's not. But never mind. Anyways, we're getting into another completely bullshit argument.
It was magical to be there. Is what I'm saying. When Show won that, his team rushed in the booth, which is something that is really cool to see because I haven't seen that much of that in StarCraft 2. Team Liquid did that a couple times
at DreamHack with Heroes.
Yeah,
last time I saw.
But it was a really weird feeling for me because it was like one of those moments where I realized we have what it takes to make this beautiful game into a sport, into making it something that people legitimately care and watch and think about because of the human level. And Show and Stardust, but even Stardust to a certain extent a little bit lesser than what Show did, really put that on the grand stage. Like when Show won, the place was all limbs and like there's confetti, I'm sure, but I couldn't see it or anything. And then he came out and was like, it feels fucking awesome.
Yes. I felt a little bad for Life in the stream. You saw after the game, Life was like trying to get in there and like shake hands, and he had a smile on his face the whole time, so I don't think he was too distraught about it, but he didn't quite get in there to talk to Show right after the game. So
he's a pro.
Yeah.
He could have. Everyone would have understood if he would have put his face in his hands and just started crying and been upset, but nope, gets up and go. How many people have shaken hands with fucking Life after beating him? Actually, if I'm Show,
less considering he couldn't fit in the booth, right?
Exactly. One less.
Oh man. So yeah, that was definitely that might have been even bigger than the finals. I think Show beating Life definitely was there in person. Would you say, Jeff? Would you agree?
Close. I mean, if it wasn't the fact that Stardust beat Jaedong, if it was like any other finals, then I think it would have been for sure. But
yeah,
what Stardust did and the way the games went, more importantly, I think. Yeah. With a fucking base elimination.
Those games were kind of silly, man. Those games were really silly. With the probe on the, all the probes killing the last.
The probe surround on the extractor down to the bottom was hilarious.
Were you talking to Jaedong in between those matches at all, Jeff?
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
What was that like? What was his response after some of those games?
So, here's the thing, like, to give people the perspective on this, and I've said this a few times, but I guess just bear with me, like. Jaedong for me is he was the guy I was watching when I was playing Brood War in my college dorm. I would stay up till 5 a.m. to watch this guy play, and he would walk down an aisle with 30,000 people or 20,000 people or whatever it was. I'm sure I'm embellishing, but a lot of people in these studios, these stadiums, and people would like throw themselves at him crying because he's this god. He was this amazing superstar. I remember watching him and Flash play the most exciting games ever, like 5 mutas stacked on top of one with just wings flapping and the most insane micro you've ever heard or seen in your life. So to have him on my team is this gigantic honor that every single day I'm like living a dream, basically. Yeah, I should name drop right now. I was training with J-Dong earlier. So happy. Anyways, so the kind of cool thing is this relationship we've developed is at tournaments. He relies on me. No, that's weird. That's way too self-important to put it. He talks to me about these foreigners that he doesn't know about, and Stardust kind of falls under that category. And actually, Stardust is a guy that I've been talking with and playing with for a long time now. He's actually always done this PvZ style, which is kind of crazy. I copied it for a couple weeks, and then I sucked ass at it, so I ditched that promptly because it requires really good force fields. So anyways, long story short, he knew exactly what he was facing. Games start going. I'm not on the kind of level with J-Dong in terms of friendship where I go in the booth in between games to talk to him because I don't want to fucking mess with his psyche. I don't even want to risk that. But the first thing that happened when he lost, and this is where... Oh.
Is that Ben?
What? Sorry, I unmuted my mic. Did I break something?
Oh, it's just like readjusting the room, I guess.
Yeah. It's got to level down real quick.
This is where me as a host is found as a fraud because I was like pacing back and forth and almost dry heaving with how nervous I was because I thought J-Dong was going to win his first like really big StarCraft 2 tournament. And the only way to top that feeling is to have him almost win but then lose. So I had to gain composure when I was walking on the main stage.
Man, you're just the world's sickest troll right now, man.
Is it not working?
It's not good.
Skype is auto-adjusting the
I'll just mute it, and I'll unmute it when it's time for
God
me to
damn
talk.
it. Was that the NASL sound guy? Was that him, Ben, that walked in the goddamn room?
I'm sorry, Jeff. Forgive me.
Anyways, just imagine the story as good as it was.
Tell us about you beating J-Dong.
Oh. Anyways, so the place is blowing up because the sickest of underdogs just won. Stardust is absolutely fucking adorable and awesome. Like in all those interviews, he gave probably the best answers.
Yeah,
and, like,
he's great at that.
He won.
And they were all in English
respect.
too. That was perfect.
Yeah, he won in every respect, just absolutely everyone. But I'm walking to the stage, and I look in the booth, and J-Dong has his head down. And I didn't want to just walk past him and go out like I should have as the host, but instead I opened the door and I go in, and I went in to give him a hug and kind of just let him know that we're here for him. And he looked up at me, and he had tears streaming down his eyes because he cared so much. Damn. And like when I saw that, I remember being like, my whole body heaved, and I was just like fuck, like how can you not love J-Dong with all of your heart? Like this guy cares on such a high level, it's incredible. But I had to swallow it and then go out on stage and pay Stardust the respect he deserved, which is a host that is enthusiastic about his win and happy for him. So I hoped I did a good job at that. But that was what it was like. It was one of the hardest things I've done.
Huh. He didn't look that distraught afterwards, so good on J-Dong for cleaning it up right after
He's a pro. Yeah. He's a pro, man. He collected himself. He felt bad for about 30 seconds, and then he straightened up. And he actually helped Stardust open up the champagne bottle and was nothing but smiles and congratulatory high fives and handshakes. Like he is... If we could have 35 more J-Dongs, this game would be on ESPN mainstream television because...
Sorry, as my mic blows up again. I'm trying to speak immediately after muting it. Have you had a chance to talk to J-Dong? Because like, for me, my real curiosity is like, he was so dominant in Brood War. He was basically undisputedly number 1 or number 2 of all time with Flash. What is the transition like for him as he's come closer and closer and closer, and here he is in a final of a tournament finally, but still doesn't quite get that win. Like, is it hard for him to go from being basically one of the 2 best guys in the world to being kind of middle of the pack?
I haven't asked him, obviously, that question specifically just because I don't know how I'd put that to words without it being...
insulting.
Pretty bad. But from what I have discussed with him and what I've kind of just observed, I think, as much as I don't want to accept this, I think the attitude between what it was like in Brood War and what it is now in terms of StarCraft is very different. In StarCraft right now, it's kind of like, it's more global, which means a little bit more casual for the Koreans. A little bit more. I'm not trying to say that they're like taking it super lightly, but when Kespa ran the ship, it was like the movie Roots, or Root rather, only StarCraft. Like these guys were slaves to their games, and it wasn't necessarily because they loved the game so much. It was because if you wanted to earn a living, you owed it to your masters to put your mind, body, and soul into this game. And some guys rose above it so high that they earned some little extra freedom, and that would be like a Jaedong and Flash. But for the rest of them, the game wasn't about passion or love. It was about work and dedication and honor. And now in StarCraft 2, it's a little bit more of a mix of both. Like Jaedong at the EGTL house with Coach Park is working harder now than he had been from the beginning of StarCraft 2 coming over, just because it was more unconstructed. Like he came over and immediately was with EG, and we didn't have Coach Park, so there was organized training and stuff, but there wasn't someone to stand over him and be like, "You're training now. You're training with him." I just got in touch with LGIM. We've got a sparring clan war with him. But that's what Coach Park brings to the table. Is he's like, "You're playing now." And there's really funny stories, by the way, rotating around of like, Coach Park is the zero fucks coach. Like he has absolutely zero fucks to give. And I'm not going to drop names, but inside our squad, like if a guy is like losing motivation or something like that, did we just lose everything?
No, you're still good.
Oh, okay. Nope, my stream crashed. Never mind. He actually will just be like, "Hey, you're out of the house for 2 weeks." And he's like, "Well, where will I live?" And he's like, "I don't know, just not in this fucking house."
Jesus.
Yeah,
Well, that's probably how
brutal.
it should be, man.
That's pretty standard for a lot of Korean team houses. If you're not doing all that well, and especially if you're not gelling with them, you do just get sent home, and it's often the best thing for it as well. It gets that kind of toxic element out of there, and it gives you a little bit of time to get your head together.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Interesting to hear.
I tried to adjust my microphone. Is it better?
Now you're just
It's
really
a hell of a lot
quiet.
quieter.
Okay. How about now?
Good, perfect. Don't touch
You're
anything
fine.
else.
Perfect. All right.
It's either boost or just auto adjusting.
It was auto
It was
adjusting.
my Skype was auto adjusting, so
Yeah.
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 I fixed it.
Well,
I hope.
yeah, it is fixed. TB, what'd you think of a Dreamhack? We haven't really gotten you in there too much.
It was really, really good, as it always is. And Dreamhack must just have some little angel that gives them these amazing matches that always seem to happen at Dreamhack and really nowhere else. I mean, occasionally you get something like that, some underdog story from an MLG, from an open bracket in particular, but Dreamhack has it all the frickin' time. It's it's cruel to say, but it's probably because Dreamhack has always had a smaller talent pool in terms of like top tier Koreans. They have a few,
definitely
but they
true.
don't get that many. You don't get like 20, 30 Koreans, then a bunch of Kesper players also turning up to Dreamhack. That just flat out doesn't happen. You have a lot more Europeans there. You've got really good Koreans, but you don't have that many of them, so it's possible to either dodge them. And everyone was, until Show ran into life, everyone was saying, "Oh, Show just got such an easy bracket. He had such an easy run in comparison to other people." And then he goes and beats life. It's like, well, screw that. But
Well, the other way to look at that, John, too, is Show was the first happy foreigner round in that round of, I think it was 8. I mean, before that, unfortunately, they're all my friends, but the foreigners all got shat on, actually. Like TLO losing to Tasia, not close.
Lucifron lost to Jaedong.
I think it was Harstem who lost to somebody. Maybe not Harstem. Who was the other foreigner?
Hyun lost to Stardust, if that's what you're referencing in
No.
round of 8.
it was Stefano.
Lucifron lost to Jaedong.
Stefano against Jaedong was not close, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Okay.
Not
That's
close at all.
interesting, yeah.
to be expected.
Jaedong ZVZ is just stupid, by the way.
JVZ? Yeah, don't even start with
JVZ.
it.
Just fucking
Ugh.
stupid. It's like I've always been like ZVZ is so random. The best player in the world can still lose 55 or 45% of the time, and Jaedong's just like, "Fuck you, MrBitter."
He's got like an 88% win percentage in StarCraft 2 or something like that.
He's ridiculous. Utterly
It was
ridiculous.
the same in Brood War too, right? He was like a 90% winner.
More
in
in Brood War. He was untouchable in Brood War. It was just that he had to play Terrans in all the finals, so he didn't get to see it as much.
Let's see what else. What? Go ahead, TB.
Yeah, I was just going to go on to the rest of Dreamhack.
Oh,
I mean, the
yeah,
matches
sure,
were great,
sure.
there's no question. Nathanius, I've got to give a huge shout out to because that was a great performance. It's a bit shaky on day 1, to be expected. Day 2 and 3, gelling a lot better with his co-casters, really providing the solid play-by-play there, easing into that solid role definition. and just being really, really great with the crowd as well. Not overdoing it.
Also,
Yeah.
just so
Great.
fucking very clearly, this guy plays the game. Thank you,
Yes.
Nathanius.
That
For
helps.
being a StarCraft player, every fucking clown that messages me and is like, hey, how can I become a StarCraft caster? I'm like, well, start by playing the game. Case
Or
in
get a
point.
million subscribers on YouTube, then you don't have to play the game. Everything's fine.
Or
even then, you
get a
still
million
play.
subscribers on YouTube.
Hey, I play, man. I just go back into plat.
TotalBiscuit was the
fucking
first
Blizzard.
Grandmaster caster, Jeff.
I know.
That actually is
True story.
That is true.
True
I
story.
saw it. I saw it.
My only thing with Nathanius, and I'll probably catch shit for just saying that, but my only
How dare
thing
you?
is this fucking smirk that he always has when he looks at the camera. What is that smirk? What do you
That-
like? What?
It's
He
his
just looks
first
so smug. I'm just like, oh my god, what is this guy doing? What is
Well,
he doing?
it's the
Are you
exact
kidding
opposite.
me? JP is his first fucking major event.
I
He was
know, but
happy
it's just
as,
I'm just saying, like,
he's the
please,
happiest
just
little
leave-
guy in the world for the entire time. He's just fucking his cheeks are probably cramping for weeks to follow because
Oh my god.
he was so happy to be there, man.
Other than that, he was
Cut the kid
perfect.
a break. Jesus
We had
Christ.
so much fun. with
Also,
this guy.
you know, camera technique takes fucking ages to perfect, especially
Yeah.
when it's weird because, like, oh, there's an audience, and there's also an audience on the internet. Where am I looking? What am I supposed to be looking at? Should I be looking away from the camera, then back to the camera? Should I be looking at my co-caster all the time? It takes a lot of effort to really learn how to do that,
Sure.
and he has not had that experience, and now he's getting it. And
Yeah.
he most assuredly should be getting into more events. He's phenomenal. He's
is
a really,
great.
really great addition, and it's nice to actually see a caster coming up rather than, oh,
Yes.
I'm a player, I retired, now I'm going to become a caster. It's like, no, he's a
Finally.
caster.
And this has already been said multiple times on many other shows, but he is the epitome of what hard work does for
Yes.
someone
Oh, yeah.
to succeed in this scene. Like, here's a guy that was
yeah, that's
casting
everything.
multiple hours every single day of the smallest cups that no one gave two shits about, but he was doing it, and finally he got recognized for it. And
Well,
I think
his
it was said
biggest
that
break
Apollo was the
actually-
one that chose him to actually cast Dreamhack.
That is true.
So-
His biggest break though, which I find really funny, and it's one of those like, where'd you meet your mom? And then you have the story of like at the bar. No, that's not what you say. Where did you meet your wife? Anyways, that'd be really weird to meet your mom at the bar.
What are you talking
What are you talking about?
Hey, this happens. Okay, sometimes my analogies fall off a cliff. But the story, anyways, he actually got his big break casting over OGN's SPL, which I find
Ah, yeah, that was
pretty
definitely.
funny.
Yes.
That's where he got
Where
his. That's where people actually were like, "Who's this Nathanius guy? I really like him."
What is he doing next? What is next for Nathanius? Has he been hired by anybody yet?
I think
Oh,
he's
he's
in the
getting-
chat. Maybe he can just answer it himself
He's
here.
getting
but-
contacted by a lot of people. I'll
I
tell
know
you
he
that
was
much.
on Chan Man's show today, but I don't know where he's casting next. He might have said it there on
So
the
you could
show.
say he's climbing the ladder.
One might say that.
Oh,
yeah.
I fucking hate you.
See?
Guys, we'll
Now
see you
that's
next
good.
week on State of the
Alright.
Game. Jeff just killed.
hang on though. So this is the funny stuff of working with Nathanius, in my opinion. So I've never really experienced this because as TB lamented, like what I actually did was I played pro and now I'm transitioning to casting. So there was actually a very smooth, like, I've already been on some stages, I've already seen big crowds, so it was kind of fine for me. It's the first time for him, which was really funny because he was commentating with me and Apollo, and we've been there a lot before, so we were giving him all kinds of unending shit. But it was really fun to witness the like nervousness that someone has at that level too, because
You
He's
two
a-
would be the worst to work with for your
Oh,
first
yeah.
event, by the way. For like
Yeah.
a
we were,
first
we were rough
Because
on him.
Apollo fucks with people all the time behind
Oh,
the
yeah.
scenes.
Constantly,
And
and so
Jeff
does
is just
Jeff.
the constant guy to call someone out. So-
You know, a couple of years ago, Apollo was like the meekest, sheepy.
Yeah.
And then he moved in with Too Good, and well,
Things
And now
changed.
I'm fucking Apollo.
yep.
It was funny though, because like he did a great job. He's an amazing and particularly play-by-play caster. But like you guys said, as a guy that plays the game, he has a lot to offer in terms of other things. But one thing that I found really funny that eventually, actually, through the course of the tournament, ironed itself out. Apollo and I are big like banter commentators, and we like to say a lot of jokes. Nathanius, the fucking opposite. So we'd be like, yeah, like this game's gonna be great. Really excited about, quick question, Nathanius, like what's in the future for you? What do you got going? He's like, well, just happy to be here, Jeff. And speaking of the future, if you look in the top left-hand corner, there's a red
Segway.
no,
would
man,
just
he was
like-
just. I think that's just nervousness, Jeff. That's got to be
What?
nervousness. He doesn't know what the fuck.
Well, I know. No, I'm
I
teasing.
think
Oh,
everybody,
okay.
every guy that ever did his first cast took himself too seriously. Like, you
Yeah.
fucking remember the first time you sat down to cast StarCraft. You were like, I'm going to analyze
dude.
the fuck out of this
Yeah.
game.
It was just really. I'm not hating at all. I'm more just laughing because we tease him about in between too. And at one point, I think I asked him what his favorite burrito was, and he said chicken and rice. And I was like, I'm like,
Let me tell you about my favorite
any kind of
burrito.
burrito. You
It's
said
$1 million wrapped in hundreds.
Yep. But we had fun, and one thing that I'll say about him that's really, really refreshing to see is he's almost like, kind of like the Apollo generation of up-and-coming commentators in the sense that he actually really, really cares and works at it. He researches, he looks up who he's talking about. He showed up in a suit and tie, which is not like the biggest thing to me, but what it did speak to was that he wanted to put off a good presentation, and he really cared.
Yep.
And like TB said, and I couldn't agree more, it's really fun and cool to be talking about an up-and-coming commentator, because for right now, it's like people call it the old boys club or whatever, but there is a pretty solid list of these are the commentators for tournaments. And anytime there's a mix-up, it's very little. It's like at the bottom rungs, like, okay, this name is swapped out for that one. But then they rotate. But I think seeing Nathanius kind of shake up the scene is nice to see.
No, it's awesome.
It's also remarkable that he's only 20. He doesn't look 20
He
at all.
looks like he's 35. Yeah.
I think the facial hair is adding a lot to that. But
Yeah.
He's only 20.
Yeah, it's funny how that works, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Oh, yeah,
there's that.
TB's
little-
let me blow everyone's mind. TB's actually like 28, guys. That just happened. That just happened.
You know, it's
Whoa,
going to be fine,
fucking
because in
Nathaniel
20 years,
stole
I'm going to
this
look exactly like
fucking
this,
duo.
hopefully thinner, and you fuckers are going to be losing your hair. It's like, where did my youth go? And I'll be like, I'll be dealing with this for
Did you
ages.
guys see the young TotalBiscuit picture that hit Reddit?
Oh, that
week or
one?
so?
Yeah.
It's like fucking TotalBiscuit looked like
All it indicated to me is that I had a fucking terrible taste in t-shirts. Jesus.
fucking. You look suave as shit, man.
Yeah, and control, I'll delete t-shirt, totally. Yeah, I was getting all the fucking ladies at that point.
TB, you might be the first Brit to actually make the claim that Brits age really well. I'm not sure that you have red cheeks, a gigantic nose, and bad teeth in your future. Like you can do what you try.
Man, I was gonna try to not but just post that picture, but I don't want to.
Oh, you can.
Hey,
you can do,
it's not
post
as bad
it,
as the
and it's on the
Wolves
fucking
one.
internet. It's not going away. While you're at it, why don't you post the one that everyone likes the link where I've had a fucking massive allergic reaction and my face is blown up like a fucking balloon? Why don't you post that one, JP?
Do you have these handy, TB? I'd love to post them.
It's not hard to find. It's not fucking Google.
Yeah, but
Get
if I
off your
make
ass
you
and
find
do
it
some
while
work
making
for
fun of yourself
jokes.
at the same time, it's actually
You
funny.
just bring people onto the show to make jokes for you, JP. You don't do shit.
I got
Damn it,
this way to
TB,
track
you
it down.
figured it out.
If it's on Facebook, it'll be the one that has 500 TB comments on it. That'll be.
Oh,
Really
man,
not-
I know.
that's a good
I
joke.
know about the Streisand effect. I don't even fucking touch it. There we go. It's posted in the chat, so feel
Nice.
free to have a laugh at that one.
Nice.
It's pretty bad. It's like, man, I left my I was having a really bad time with acute urticaria, and I was massive allergic reactions. I left my fucking pills in the hotel. That was actually at the TL meetup in that
What
really
event was
terrible Mexican restaurant just after Gamescom.
In Cologne?
Yeah, it was fucking bad, man. And I just had this massive allergic reaction. My fucking
Dude,
face blows up.
I
It's
remember
terrible.
that party.
Yeah.
Then it couldn't have been that great.
It was,
Oh shit!
it was pretty bad.
Jeff dropping the knowledge bombs. So
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
Yeah, anyway, back to
Dreamhack, guys. Let's talk about
You
that.
like read a little bit.
Yeah, there's a couple of things like the Dreamhack always does really, really well, and then there's a few things that they kind of don't. Day one is fine because you have about 1,000,000,001 streams, so you can get away with downtime. But
Yeah.
I think a lot of people excuse the downtime by saying, "Oh, it's okay, guys. They have a countdown time." It's like this is still an hour of fucking crowd shots. Last time I checked, you yelled at MLG every time they did this. And
Well,
it's
But you know what it
It's
is,
a
TB? You
little
know what
bit
it is?
different here,
They
though,
play
guys.
shit music over it, so they don't yell at.
Oh, Jesus Christ. It's like, hey, guys, Mamba number 5. Isn't this hilarious? No, it isn't.
Ben, what were you getting at?
Well, I was just gonna say, MLG caught flack because it was because of well, I guess I'm talking about WCS now, but
Yeah, Well, I mean, WCS didn't have much downtime.
Yeah, but DreamHack, what I'm driving at is DreamHack doesn't have the kind of production team that you would need to produce all that extra content. So it's
they
like
actually have a fuckload of volunteers that work their asses off. It's actually amazing.
I don't guess that necessarily makes it okay, but traditionally DreamHack holds these tournaments to supplement something else that they're already doing. They don't do something else to supplement their tournament. So.
I think another point I would submit too is that, and this is a little bit more philosophical, I guess, but like MLG exudes this like suit and tie, like hello and welcome to the MLG broadcast. We're in New York City. It's great. It's going to be fantastic. Like cat's
pajamas.
Yeah, you just got done hearing Frank Sinatra's third album. It was a beautiful one. Whereas at DreamHack, it's like a clown falling down a hill to the sound of like fucking children farting or something like that. Like they put off a really goofy attitude, so it's a lot harder for the community to find something to get upset at them about when they make a mess up because they're like, hey! And everyone's like, oh, DreamHack.
Honestly, it's probably about time that we stop treating it like that, though, because honestly, DreamHack, from experience of working with them, and especially talking to Rob Olin, are really good at taking constructive criticism and improving their show. They're incredibly good at it. And then nobody fucking gives it to them because they're too busy circle jerking over everything they ever do. To the point where, you know, the woman, someone, right, a scenario, right? I was listening to the show and I went on Twitter and it was, you were casting with Apollo, Jeff, and the levels for like an entire map, the sound levels were completely wrong. Your mic was twice as loud, and there was also a shitload of background noise coming in. And people literally told me on Twitter while I was looking at the fucking dB meters, no, you're wrong, it's totally fine, there's nothing wrong with this. Like, shut the fuck up and give some constructive criticism. If they make a mistake, it's good for you that they fix it. It's good for you. We know it's a great tournament. We know the guys behind it are fucking phenomenal. These games are great, and the casting's awesome. And then people just deny the faults, and it really gets on my nerves. And we consistently see it, and it needs to stop.
I think that would be a bigger problem if it weren't for the fact that DreamHack does a pretty good job of actually continuously improving. Like, let's not forget they were the guys that rolled out the show for Stockholm that was above and beyond what they ever put on in their summer winter festivities.
It's true.
I agree with you. If like, because they definitely don't get like they have the most forgiving audience in the world. Like we had so many stage snafus, and I was like ready to read comments of people like, get him off the fucking stage. But instead it was like, all right, mistakes happen. They happen. Yeah. But I do actually think though I'm pretty strong with this. I don't hear you guys disagreeing because I know it's different points, but like I think it's really interesting that because DreamHack kind of puts off this like, hey, we're awesome, and everyone's like, they're awesome, they're really awesome, but MLG's like, we're the best. Fuck you, lesser guys. And then they're like, well, I'm a lesser guy. I'm gonna look for your mistakes. Your shirt doesn't match with that jacket very well. To the Reddits with you. And they're like, and they all type it out, and that's the story.
Hell, if you were a Dota fan, then you didn't do so well with DreamHack, but I mean, they didn't.
That's true. Yeah.
I watched some of it, and I didn't see outside of the games themselves. Wasn't it basically the Dota was set up in a really awkward place?
It was like MLG's
back
first
to League
Starcraft
of Legends.
tournament.
Its back was against a
oh god
5,000. No, that's God.
That
it was
reminds
1,000
me
or
of,
2,000 person seating.
Well,
stadium
I mean,
seating.
big ass stage.
Back, I think it was DreamHack Winter 2011 when they had the third stage, which was basically slap bang in the middle of all the exhibitors that me and Apollo were casting on. It was like 25 seats. We had the fucking Razer booth blaring bullshit rave on one side, and we were the Steel Series booth, so they would turn their shit up just to fuck with us. And I mean, it sounded like that, and it's like you do the best with what you've got. But
my first DreamHack, a guy sat 45 feet away from me and shot me with an air gun the entire time.
Nice.
Didn't know the technology existed, but apparently they sell these guns that if you shove a tunnel, it shoots a concentrated ball of air, and it would hit me.
Yeah,
and
those things.
Look,
Yeah.
And there's guys like, stop! I'll fucking murder you.
Was he doing it while you were on camera? Because I want to see those VODs now. I want to look for that moment where a puff of air just hits you right in the face.
Yeah, it was me and Caldor too, which is the funniest thing. Like,
it's like someone put some fucking effort into that.
Oh god.
Caldor's like leaning into
You know what?
the podcast.
We need to merchandise this. We need to sell these at finals.
No.
Sell air guns. Yeah.
can't believe
Everyone in
they
the
need to
first
start
two
putting
rows of an
casters in a
MLG.
booth after that. That would be
Well,
terrible.
look. Well, hold on. To be fair,
Wait,
if you did that in
MLG's off the hook
MLG,
here. They put their casters backstage.
yeah, no one would ever hit an MLG
Not
caster
anymore,
because
they
they're
don't, man.
backstage.
Not
anymore.
in Dallas, they didn't. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see it. We'll see how it is in Anaheim. I haven't
Yeah,
seen
I
a
didn't.
floor pan.
You know what
Yeah.
though? As bad as that is, the worst, and this actually happens to this day. If you're just anywhere, I'll even use this last Dreamhack as my example because this is like a PSA for people that attend tournaments. My favorite, and I can actually pick the fucking guy from across the room because he's got the same look on his face. They'll come walking over. They're kind of looking around. And this happened during a broadcast a few times, but this last Dreamhack, it just happens in between. We're like on hour 10, and Apollo and I are like, all right, we got 2 more. Like, it should be good. And I'm like, it'll be great. It'll be wonderful. And I can just make it through this. And a guy will walk up and go, hey, when's your guys' next broadcast? I think what you're doing here is great. When's the next game? And we'll be like, and we'll look over at the wall, and there's like a gigantic Dreamhack rotating projection of like, we'll be live in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And we're like, if this was any kind of real sport, you wouldn't feel comfortable doing this. And they're like, you don't seem to be busy. Can I put you to work real quick? Can you get me a water? And also tell me when the fuck you're actually broadcasting next. Because right now you're doing nothing, you lazy butt.
Oh God.
Oh, hang on. Somebody asked you to get water? That has to be an
I'm
embellishment.
embellishing that part, of course.
Yeah. He's making shit up, but it does happen.
All right, guys. Here's what you do in MLG Anaheim. When you see Jeff, if he's just standing around, ask him to get you some water.
Yeah, like
Because it'll be funny because you'll be inside of the MLG venue where water is not allowed.
Jeff's just played his first game in a best-of-3. Excuse me.
You don't look busy.
when I'm, you know what? Nobody would ever do that because when I'm casting, I've got this face on, like, what can I do for you? But when I'm playing, it's like,
Oh God.
want to play a game. And they're like, oh God.
Oh man.
Let's play a
Fuck.
Turn into the guy from Saw.
Anyway,
What's
but-
next on your list, JP?
Yeah, production snafus aside, it was a great tournament. It was absolutely fantastic. Crowd was great. It was great to watch, as it always is. You just have to mute it in between games, and then everything's totally fine.
Ben, what time did you say you had? You have an hour left? Is that? Not to call you out or anything,
I don't
just
know,
forget.
man. I'm just floating through life. As soon as we get done here, I'm heading to Santa Monica for the Redbull event.
All right, well, let's see. That was actually a great transition, Ben. Thank you very much. Let's talk about the Redbull
Nice.
training grounds going on this weekend. I started 2 days ago, and I was messaging people, and I was like, could you tell me what's going on with the Redbull training? Is this under NDA? Like, where is this being what's going on? And then they're like, it's on the web page. I'm like, wait, what? I go over, and it's already been all announced. It was just, like, covered under E3. I never even saw it on Reddit on last week. I don't know if it was or whatnot, but Red Bull's doing a tournament this weekend.
Yeah,
guys.
it's I guess it's the timing's a little bit rough promotionally, but just because of E3 and DreamHack and WCS and all that. But they are in fact doing a tournament. It starts tomorrow, and there are 8 guys there. We got Grubby, Sound, Kane, Vibe, Muslim, Puck, Hyun, and Golden.
Yeah. And are you
It's gonna be
casting? I thought it was only Husky and Day 9 casting this event.
I have no idea what I'm going to be doing there. I will be there working in some capacity. If that means casting, then great. If maybe I'll be the one fetching water for people.
Maybe so.
I'm not above that, so.
No.
So yeah, actually, right before the show, I got a message saying that the groups were announced. So Group A, Grubby, Sound, Kane, and Vibe. Group B is going to be DeMuslim, Puck, Select, and Golden. I think that it's just Group A tomorrow. Ben, you can correct me if I'm wrong. Group B is going to be Saturday, then Friday is going to be the rest of the bracket. Is that how it's going down?
That's my understanding of it as well. And just want to say for the record, super stoked to see Kane play some more because I think he's ridiculously good.
Is this his first LAN event? Has he been to
No,
MLGs before?
no. He did WCS Canada in Toronto for NASL season 4.
Lost to Scarlet, if I'm not mistaken, but I could be wrong.
He was also at something else. He's done at least 2, I think.
This is certainly one of the larger stages he's ever going to be on, though, because it's just 8 people, and there's going to be a lot of cameras on him directly.
We're talking about Kane, right?
Yeah.
He was at the Shoutcraft NA
There you
final
go.
in MLG. So
Oh yeah,
I mean,
that's right. I guess that counts, TB. I guess that counts.
Yeah, I guess it's just a small little thing that he
Yeah.
went to. It was a pretty cool gig for him, but
So they've
he's
actually
great, and I really want to see more of him. He's such a good player.
they've actually done something kind of ballsy here. They've put times to start for each of their matches and allocated 1 hour. So we'll see if they actually stick to the schedule.
Get ready for Noni to be pretty upset with this tournament.
The worst part about doing this is when your match finishes early and your players aren't ready to start the next one, and now you have to fill 30 minutes.
Yeah. We'll see if they do that. I'm trying to think back to like past Red Bulls, but it's been a long time since the last one. I think they definitely had filler videos that they made prior to the event.
They had a, I guess for people that don't know this, they had a change in hands. Rob Simpson from Blizzard went on over there to replace a guy who moved on to go do something else. I can't remember what it was. I want to say like NASCAR or some shit. Or that might be the CBSI guy.
Actually, I think you're right, but
yeah. But so Rob Simpson needed time to like get ready, I suppose. Kind of step into the position, and I think even his boss needed to be replaced, something like that. But the good news is that we've got a former Blizzard employee at the helm of the esports division for Red Bull, and I don't think that they're just putting this one-off tourney on. I think they're going to be back to what they were doing, which is a tour of awesome events.
For a fact, they're not just putting this one off.
Son of a bitch!
I talked to Rob a lot. I talked to Rob a lot, and he has big plans. It's incredibly exciting to think about what could come with Red Bull backing esports.
I think you can kind of...
They're a monster of a contributor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think you can kind of tell what Red Bull's planning to do, the fact that it's redbull.com.
I can just throw stuff at you, Jeff.
No. You're just supposed to ignore that shit, TV, like I did. You're supposed to ignore it. You just fucking move on. You don't fucking reference it. You let him do his thing.
JP's pro level at this hosting thing now. I
saw the Muslim tweeting pictures from Red Bull, and I was like, I don't know, the Muslim, is this something that you're allowed to do?
That's the kind of cool thing is actually they get along fairly well. Like, obviously, we're not going to advertise Red Bull or vice versa, but the fact that the Muslim's there, and before that we had other EG players there, including JOP, who I think won the damn thing last time or took second or something like that, it's cool, I like that.
So as I was saying when Jeff made his terrible fucking monster joke, it's like off their main website, redbull.com/esports. It's not like redbullesports.com or anything. So it's definitely cool to see that. It's another huge brand coming in that's already been here before, but now they're apparently doing bigger and better things this year. I hope that the janitor shirts are gone this time. I hope we don't see a return of those. I saw a lot of people in the chat talking about that. We'll see if those come back.
I don't think we're going to see those this time.
So we're going to see spacesuits? Is that what you're saying, Ben?
I was told the dress code is T-shirts and jackets, so it'll be that classic nerd look coming back.
That's an old GOM Season 1.
I can live with that. So yeah, Ben might be casting.
I'll be there in some capacity.
Ben will be there in some capacity. Husky and Day 9 are the official casters of the event. We'll have to see really what else is going to be done, because I don't think too much has really been said about it. Homestory Cup is also going on this week. That was actually happening today. I think today was the first day.
Oh yeah.
And it's batshit crazy Homestory Cup. I mean, they had,
as always,
same old.
Yeah, they had Koreans today casting. I think 4 or 5 of them on the stream, which was
MC solo cast of Sake versus Gosu User. Did you guys see that one?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. Little bits
of
it.
Really fun. MC says Sake.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Well, wasn't there some ridiculous gay bar references in that big couch cast as well, and all sorts of crazy shit?
Oh man,
those Koreans get away with everything.
Like,
it's so funny.
I'm not gay.
It's fun in small doses. Like, I don't think I could deal with 3 hours of Koreans casting in Konglish. That would probably get pretty bad after a while.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm not allowed to say that because apparently the internet fucking hates it when I do. But
that's why Homestory Cup works, though. We all know this. Yeah. This fucking formula that only works for Homestory.
Glad to see our brethren Todd got through in Group D. Him and
Johan Merlo. I don't know if he's still in chat, but
he might have left.
I was excited to see him playing well.
Those crude jokes about his blog article, whatever thing. He takes those really He just left State of the Game last week.
Well, that's his shtick, is what he does. He takes it serious because he has to. He's French.
Yeah, that's true.
Is Panda Tank at Homestory Cup? He is, right? He qualified.
Yeah, let me see what group he's in. He is in Group E. Stefano, Happy, QXC, and Panda Tank.
You want to put money on that?
You want to bet against Panda Tank?
Absolutely.
Yes, I want to bet on that.
What is the group again, JP?
Stefano, Happy, QXC,
and Panda.
There's an echo.
You think Panda's going to make it out of there?
That's pretty bold.
You don't? Are you fucking shitting me?
Over Stefano and Happy?
So last time Pano played Stefano, he beat him.
You're right. You should give me 2-to-1 odds. Let's do $100. All right, 1-to-1.
Can me and TB get like a little
$100
proceed of the
1-to-1.
sales?
That Panda Tank gets out of the group
Yeah.
all day long.
Top 2 advance, right?
All day long.
Yeah, top 2.
Okay.
Well, in 12 hours, we'll see
shun the
who's going to be
non-believer.
richer.
I think with your money, I will pay for you to subscribe to actual other leagues so that you can watch StarCraft.
So you're going to owe me 150 for Elfie and Group H, and now 100 for Panda. So that's 250.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take that to Vegas. I'll put it on the field.
Well,
IPL's not happening anymore,
with
Ben.
your
I don't
kind
know
of
where you're going to
bets,
go to Vegas.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah,
I have no joke.
I don't either. Mine kind of failed. Let's move
I
on.
wish I had better jokes for that because there's so
Panda
many
Tank
good
is
players.
really good, and it deserves much, much, much more hype. He's fucking good.
He's great. He took
Played
top
very well at
64 at
DreamHack as well.
DreamHack. He did really well.
He was in an all-Korean group, bro.
Yeah.
He did beat Sting. He wasn't too shabby.
I'm not hating. Just because I
You're
don't think he's not going to make it out of that group doesn't mean I'm hating.
You're hating, bro.
Stefano and Happy? Your hipsterness is at an all-time high. You just claimed Happy's the best Terran in Europe, and now you're calling a South African Protoss the better player. I mean, which is it, actually?
I said he's gonna make it through the group, and I would not be
over the
surprised
number
to
one
see him-
foreigner of all
Yeah.
time, and then the other guy's QXE, who's got a good shot at beating him, too.
Nope.
How about... No, I don't want to take all your money. All right, we're
He
good.
just got WCS back, Jeff. Let him. Don't.
Yeah, he's got a raise. I'll take
Yeah.
it all.
Yeah. So yeah, Homestory Cup. I think you can actually watch that group in 12 hours and see who's going to be making money from that.
Indeed.
Someone's going to have to make a thread somewhere to recap all this stuff.
You know what? It's better to bet and lose than not to bet at all. I just want to put that out there.
And I want you to keep saying that because if it goes this way, I'm going to keep you around for a while.
Oh god. So yeah, Homestory Cup. It's awesome. There's a billion different streams of it. You can watch it pretty much however you'd like. Just great tournament. It's a fun tournament. You know what to expect if you've seen it before. It's pretty much the same thing. And that's awesome. So make sure to check that out this weekend. Final thing that we
I can't
have.
believe chat is like mutiny against me right here. Come on, I was right about Hitman. I was right about Bishu. I was right about Elfie.
What were our 3 bets? Elfie advancing, Panda Tank advancing.
And Group H of WCS Europe to make it
2
to
in
the top 8.
Right.
Are you
Which is
writing
actually
these
a
down,
really
Jeff?
hard bet for me.
You can see Jeff's typing these out right now, so he doesn't
Yeah, I
forget.
gotta.
But then he'll just happen to forget them if he loses. Watch.
I was right about Jim. I was right about Jim. Thank you.
Look,
Chat.
Artosis Jr., calm down, or else he's going to start going.
No, man. It's like Artosis curses people, man. Rotterdam and me, we give blessings.
You can count the
They have
amount
to
of
be
times you were
European
right.
first.
The rest of us can't because you.
Oh, God. All right, we're going to actually talk about StarCraft for maybe 5 minutes because I want to get Jeff's and possibly Ben's input on this. But the Warp Prism change is now a real thing in the game. To throw some numbers at you guys, the movement speed has increased from 2.5 to 2.953. The acceleration increased from 2.125 to 2.625. Jeff, how much of an impact is this going to make?
I want to say not as much as people think. I think the biggest impact is that it's going to be used a lot more now. So I've always
That's
felt
a
like
huge impact, man.
yeah. So I guess what I just said is pretty convoluted. I guess what I would say is that the biggest impact is not necessarily that the Warp Prism became faster. It's that probably in particular the PvT matchup you're going to see a lot more Warp Prisms in general. And Terran's already had a tough time dealing with Warp Prisms just like as a unit. So that little bit of extra encouragement to use it now, the speed upgrade, is going to make a lot more Terrans realize that the Protoss had more weapons at their disposal than what they were using. The speed upgrade itself being incorporated is not necessarily the biggest of deals, and before everyone blows up, I understand that it outruns Vikings and stuff like that right now, but I feel like if you're going to have an actual drop unit, it probably shouldn't be one of the slowest things on the field. And if any Terran player disagrees with that, they can go fuck themselves because they have speed medevacs, and they know that at the end of the day, back when those things were slower, they weren't what they are now.
Jeff, to
Well,
put that in perspective, how fast are these things now?
You can't
compared to
warp
the
in on a
units?
speed medevac for starters.
You don't have to. You drop off 4 units that kill everything you could.
I mean, you drop off 4 Hellbats and you just win, or 2 Hellbats, I guess now. But I don't know. I always forget the Muta speed thing, but I feel like a Warp Prism with speed's faster than a Mutalisk. Is that right? Or maybe they're the same speed?
Someone in the chat will be able to answer that. It's like 2.9234, whatever it is their speed is now.
Mutalisk is just speed straight up 4.
Yep.
So no.
No. Wait, they're really that fast?
Nothing outruns Mutalisk, man.
Yeah.
Nothing.
That doesn't sound right to me. I have to look it up.
I mean,
Oh,
I'm looking at
Muta's being
Liquipedia right now. Speed 4.
Fuck you, JP.
Yeah. they're ridiculously quick.
MrBitter battling with reality versus his own pessimism of his race. Like,
Oh, God.
Well, it says... Oh, never mind.
So
Okay.
speed 4, Ben. Hold
So
on, let me...
in the Warp... Okay, so the Warp Prism speed with the upgrade is 3.375, so...
that's the upgrade. It's not 3.375 though. It's from what I understand. It's 2.9.
With the upgrade or without the upgrade?
They just had the thread.
Okay, so obviously I haven't been doing enough homework on this one. But I'm scared of dealing with it. I struggle to deal with Warp Prism Harass already, and with the free speed boost, I think it's going to be a nightmare. But it's also going to be really good for the game, just because anytime you promote more mobile play, you're going to get better gameplay, in my opinion.
I love that we always get these changes right before, like, a big weekend.
MLGs.
You know? Yeah, like, it always happens in MLG, but of course this weekend we've got Redbull and Homestory Cup going on, and the next week is MLG. So at least they'll get their testing in. Like, at least they'll get to see if it really...
You know what, though?
What's up?
If you look at the last 8 or 9 weeks, we've had a finals every single weekend. When really do they implement this?
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Well, they can't anymore, because you throw WCS in there, and suddenly it's like, oh, well, what's a good time? There isn't one.
There isn't one.
Right before the start of WCS Season 2 is the good time, honestly.
For them.
That's probably the timetable that they're on.
Yeah,
Sure.
as you said, for them. I mean, this is obviously still it's in the middle of other stuff.
Yeah.
And
I just realized how snarky I sounded. I wasn't trying to sound snarky about that, but Jeff is right. Like, when do they actually put this in? I guess now is the best time, because it'll affect WCS the least. But I guess we'll just have to see how all that works. Because Jeff, did you put any time into the test map or whatever that they had out there? Or do you know anyone that did?
No, programmers don't do that. Just because sometimes they dump it. So it did go to 2.953. That's the movement speed. The acceleration was also increased from 2.1 to 2.6. And I want to say that the upgrade had it moving faster. So I think because there's now, and someone in the chat will have to correct me because I've only played 3 games with this and I only used it in one of them. I think the upgrade's gone, but it's not as fast as the upgrade was. And I think I remember when I used it, it didn't feel like it was as fast as it was. So let's see if someone corrects me. Give it 5 seconds. Oh, upgrade is still there. So its base speed is just faster, but now it has the upgrade to raise it up.
So it can go even more ridiculous. Yeah.
Well, that's a really nice buff then.
Well, I think the upgrade's the same. It's just its base speed is higher. And okay, that makes sense because I felt that.
Okay.
Cool. Maybe that was lost in the language or they changed it, but I like that a lot more. I like that it's just in general faster, but you still have to pay for an upgrade for it to be ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because when it has the speed upgrade, it is actually ridiculous. It's really quick. And that would be probably too severe if it just incorporated with that upgrade. Was incorporated with that upgrade.
Cool.
It sounds like a really good change, and again, as frustrating as it might be to deal with, to play against, I think it's going to be really good for the overall ebb and flow of StarCraft.
I think the coolest thing I like about it is that something I said at the beginning when they talked about this is that I like that it is as close to a professional / top end buff that you can possibly get. Like, it's not. My example is always like the Stalker gets +2 armor damage or whatever, something like that. Like something that just in general makes the unit better and requires no extra micro, and it's just like Protoss in general gets better. The Warp Prism is a sick good unit. Nobody will tell you otherwise except for Idra, I guess. No.
No, of course he's going to tell you that.
He would. Yeah, exactly. I was
going
completely
to
wrong.
say, you're talking about the same Greg that we know, right?
I have
Love
clever
watching
joke,
Greg
I have
stream
clever
turn,
joke
by the
back,
way.
and then I just referenced Greg, and I went into the wrong.
okay.
I reached in the wrong one.
That's the
But
safe joke.
what I like about it is that in the hands of a player like Hero or something like that, it's going to look insane, and we're going to be like,
Yeah.
this player got better, and this game got better because it's more exciting. But in the hands of, like, everybody else, it'll be better, but not so much so that we don't notice that it, like, changes Protoss in general, I guess is what I'm saying.
Well, we'll definitely be watching for that this weekend and next weekend with MLG. I think that is going to be a show, guys. So let's go ahead and do some shout-outs here. TB, why don't we start with you?
Usual stuff, really. Check out my channel, youtube.com/CynicalBrit for the non-StarCraft stuff, youtube.com/TotalBiscuit for the StarCraft stuff. There's been a little bit of content there here and there. I haven't had a lot of time, but I do have a replay coming up of a successful proxy battlecruiser in the base of a Protoss in Diamond League, killing the Protoss. So,
Damn.
You're a terrible
that's
human
new
being,
meta.
John.
I know. It's
That
actually
sounds
EJ
like a
Wheat's fault.
game-changing, amazing.
Yeah, that was done on Kings of Tin, wasn't it?
It was done on Kings of Tin successfully in a Diamond League 3v3 match, and it worked beautifully.
John.
It was. He egged me on.
There's such a difference when you say Diamond and then Diamond 3v3.
Oh, that's like Masters NA. It's.
I don't think so. I'm not sure, but
maybe not.
Oh, God. Also, I got to give you credit. You have a new shirt out. Do you want to promote that here at all?
Yep, we do have a new shirt out. It is the Archmage Reckoning shirt. We're also selling some iPhone cases and shit. That's over on Rodeo Arcade. And I should also mention, of course, that Axiom Acer will be playing GSTL tonight. They're playing against Startail. The openers are Ryung and Life.
nice.
Easy win for
Yes.
Ryung.
Nice.
I think Ryung's got that, honestly. And
You want to put money on it?
all guys, I'd
Not
put
gonna
money
bet on that one,
but
Jeff.
I'm pretty sure that betting on my own guys is like against some kind of ethics law. But whatever
As
the
long as
case,
you bet for him, it's okay.
If you bet on them to win, you're
I think if
fine.
you bet against him, it might get you in trouble.
nah. So someone made the argument that even that's not a good idea because then you end up paying the other guy to lose and saying, "Oh, we'll share the profits and shit." But anyway,
I
Young
thought
Life
you were
should
gonna-
be. Really
Whoa!
good.
I don't know what you bet. Like,
He took,
Life
he
is
took the
so
Korean
bad,
approach to betting,
$5.
Jeff. That's what he did.
Like,
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm cooking up my next.
So
Saviors
John, are you
now.
saying that when you bet, everybody wins?
Yes.
Nice.
Which is why you should bet with me.
Life's
But
like, how much of that 25 can I get? Are we talking 75, 50? Trying to tug my chain, John? Are we talking $5 here?
Oh, God.
yeah, so that's going to be on. That should be really, really good. I know the guys are really looking forward to playing against Startail, and they like fighting the teams that are a really, really big challenge to them that they know that they'll get a lot of cred for beating. And since they've done that to all of them so far, except for FXO, it's going to be pretty good, I think. Obviously, we're guaranteed a playoff spot now. We just prefer, a better one, so we're going to keep at it. And then we've got, and then we fight, I think, NSH at the end of the month to close things out, which we'll see how that one turns out for them. That's like fighting a cornered, beaten lion, and that worries me a lot because they've been all killed by pretty much everybody this season. This will be the one time where they just bust it out, but we'll see. We will see. So I think that pretty much covers it.
Cool stuff. Ben, some shout-outs. Maybe get that PR sheet back out, read some stuff.
Just let me refer to my sheet. No. First and foremost, get hyped and please tune into the Redbull training grounds. Anybody that's worried about it overlapping with Homestory Cup, then please don't. We're working hard to make sure that there's as little or no overlap. It's exciting because you can watch cool up-and-coming players like Kane. You can also see and follow the return of Selects. Grubby's going to be there. It's going to be great. Please check out the Red Bull training grounds. It starts tomorrow. Also, for all of the tank aficionados in chat, I know there's a lot of you out there. We have a World of Tanks
Guys, we'll see you
qualifier
next
tonight.
week on State of the
You guys should tune in too. That's WGLNA.com for that. Of course, the NASL is going to be resuming their coverage of the WCS about halfway through August. I really hope you guys are as excited about that as we are because obviously we're very excited. As you can see on Jeff's face, this look of disbelief. Did this motherfucker just talk about tanks?
All right, listen. I give everybody a fair shot. So I tuned in to a very nicely dressed Clutch,
Yeah.
Greetorp, and your new guy, who's, I guess, a World of Tanks commentator.
Was he wearing
This-
the hat?
He was wearing the hat.
The hat?
The studio was beautiful. I liked the suits. You guys looked great. I was like, let's do, World of Tanks. There's so many people playing it. Let's check it out. And I will just say, I'm not going to hate on the game. It's not for everyone, okay? What I found out is it's really not for me. And during the broadcast, they're doing a great job explaining everything. Kind of cool. The TI-80s are going down the side or whatever they're called. They're scouting, and it's on that map.
That's a fucking graphical calculator, Jeff. That's not
TI-83s is, I think, what he was saying.
TI-83 is going down the side. They're checking it out. Everyone's kind of like rotating behind the buildings. The TI-83s die. And then the commentator's like, yeah, so it looks like we're heading towards a draw. They probably won't leave the positions they are behind the buildings. And I was watching, and I was like, and it was that weird, like the walls are closing on you, feeling like, Jeff, it's like,
they found a game where they know draws are going to happen before they happen.
And I was just watching, and then like 5 minutes later, after the tanks were just going,
We're gonna fix all that draw stuff. Don't worry.
and they go, and we're at a draw, so we're gonna go to the next.
Give us another shot on July 11th.
Jeff, here's what Ben should have asked. Was it? He can't, so I'll ask it for him. Was it better than the GOM TV broadcast of World of Tanks?
No, because the pain was like Clutch loves the game, and Greetorp's way into like the numbers of it, so I could see that they cared about it. To watch Nick and Dan commentate World of Tanks is like watching. I mean, guys, you got to understand, they're the biggest StarCraft 2 commentators, and it feels like someone took like a fucking savage, like hell grade whip and was like, dance for monkeys, and they were like, well, how are you liking the game, Dan? And Dan's like, I love the game. I love the game of World of Tanks. It's a great game of World of Tanks. There's artillery, and sometimes they hit him, and Nick's like, yeah, like, what's that one with the hills? And then you could just, like, that picture on Reddit was so good. Their eyes, like, people smile with their face, but their eyes are dead.
1,000-yard stare.
Yeah. I think the comment was like, "Kill me, please." I love it. It's so good. It was so good.
It was good.
Oh god.
Well, it's gonna be a fun broadcast tonight. We'll give away some gold codes, maybe some premium tanks.
Just bribe them.
You guys should check it out. It's gonna be. We're gonna learn a lot. It'll be a grand old time.
If they had Abrams, like if you could, I know it's like supposed to be World War II themed or whatever.
Might be a little bit OP.
Put me in there.
Considering their usual balance, the Russian fucking tanks would
Jeff,
still be better.
if it gets you into the game, I'll get an Abrams in there for you, buddy.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I have that hookup.
That was in the PR note as well. If this gets Jeff in the game, put it in there. Oh god, Jeff, do some shout outs.
Thanks for having me on as always. It's always a pleasure, and I'm glad I've been on the last few weeks. A little bit sad, and this is for all the people that have been watching State of the Game for a while. Usually when I'm on State of the Game, people go to the threads for about 30 pages and nitpick everything I said and take it apart. Mm-hmm. I like to read that stuff, guys. The last few times I've been on, there's been no conversation.
It's been no conversation at all.
So I'm kind of weirded out by that. I guess people are starting to agree with us, which is not as fun.
Maybe you haven't been controversial enough, Jeff.
I feel like I have.
Quick, offend somebody.
Yeah, well, I feel like I have done, I feel like you could take what I said and be offended. For me personally, just as always, want to thank my Team Evil Geniuses, our lovely sponsors. Big shout out to Dreamhack for having me on board. I had oh my god, that picture. It's on stream.
Yeah.
Dan's face!
Beautiful.
Dan's face! Alright, sorry. Big shout out to Dreamhack. It was a huge honor to work with him, and I'm so thankful to be kind of a regular over there. It's amazing to be associated with them. For me personally, moving forward, I will be streaming probably even just today, maybe in a little bit, maybe right after, I'm not sure. And that's iNcontroL TV on Twitch TV. And then, as always, just follow me on Twitter, iNcontroL. And in the very near future, I will be attending MLG as a player, going to do my best to slay some nerds. So if you want to say hi, I encourage you to do so. That's a big part of why I go to these things, is to meet people and put myself out there. And then this weekend, nothing. I'm going to a concert, and I will be watching Homestory Cup every day. So expect
and Redbull Land.
That's the concert.
And the Redbull Land. I'll be watching. Oh, I'm going to a Warp Tour in Mountain City, which is going to have a lot of the metal that I like.
Good shit.
TB's totally not interested as soon as you said Warped.
I know. Someday I'll go to a
Wow.
Blind Guardian concert when they're here, though, and I'll tell you about
Damn
it.
fucking straight you will.
I've been
It's a lot of fun, guys. Appreciate you having me on, JP. I gotta get out of here.
All right, we'll see you later, Ben. I think he's just gonna hang out.
Take it
He's
easy,
gonna
guys.
pull
See you,
Tom.
Jeff. See you, John.
He can't even stick around for the end of the show. What the fuck?
Redbull Esports just tweeted an awesome picture of the Muslim teaching.
I saw that picture. I saw
It's
that
so
picture.
funny. Probably not doing that. He's probably checking her Facebook.
Probably so. All right, I got to wrap the show up before Ben dropping from the call fucks everything up. So that's been State of the Game. Tomorrow, if you're into I fucked it up. I couldn't do it that fast. If you're into general video games, you can check out a new show that I'm doing with DJ Wheat. We're going into our first real show tomorrow with Brad Shoemaker of GiantBomb.com. That's on at 1 p.m. EDT
Awesome guy.
over at twitch.tv/DJ Wheat. It
It's
won't
called
be here.
8-Bit TotalBiscuit. It's where they talk about all
8-bits.
kinds of games.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And they get lots of copyright claims. You're trying
Yeah.
to collect them all, JP, so I've been told.
Let's talk about this. Let's talk about copyright claims.
Is that really happening to you
Yeah,
guys?
let's talk about copyright claims for 1 second.
Please
So this
do.
one
Bullshit.
video got 3 of them, right? It was like EA, Nintendo, and maybe
Because you
Square
showed
Enix as well.
play or something? How's
yeah,
that
because we
work?
showed Square Enix, because we showed like their trailers, their promotional trailers from E3, right? So I got copyright claimed. I disputed them,
Yep.
blah blah blah. You can't really do too much. The next morning, I wake up and I'm like, wait a minute, why wasn't this disputed? I click on it. Now it's been claimed by Coca-Cola Co.
Wow.
And it shows the timestamp, and it's an in-game footage of The Division, which Coca-Cola is just non-existent in this
Not involved in any way, shape, or form. It's an Ubisoft game. Yeah,
So
it's auto-matching bullshit is rampant right now. It's terrible.
it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. But yeah. Anyways, that show goes on tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern on DJ Wheat's Twitch. Other than that, role plays on Sunday. Jeff, we could still do that, right? We're still doing
Yeah.
that? Okay.
Yeah, I'm there Sunday.
Okay, role play Sunday. And yeah, that's all I got. So huge shout out. We're not going to give a shout out to Ben because he left the show early. We're going to give a shout out to Total
Yeah.
Biscuit and Total Jeff.
Totally in control. That's
Why did
fine.
hold
Total
on?
Control.
Let's ask one more question to TB, the realest of real talks. Why didn't you name your team Total?
Because it's ridiculously egotistical in every possible respect. I mean,
Right,
holy
so the
shit.
question...
The question once again, why didn't you name your son?
What is Axiom? What does that mean, though? That's something, right?
Axiom? Axiom means worth.
Okay.
So your name of your team is just worse.
So now he's going to make
Much.
a new announcement that he's picking up a League of Legends team. Is that what you're saying,
Oh,
TB?
yeah. Well, that's where all the money is, so I'm told. Or will the tanks.
Okay. All right. This has been State of the Game. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. We're out. Peace.
No fans of talk over here, folks.
Gotta say is it's an honor to play you Teeler, and let's give the audience the show of a lifetime.
Oh.
Yeah, apparently looks like I was wearing lipstick, by the way. I can't confirm or deny that.
Like literally, like, hey John, so what's gonna be the first segment? Like, who's sponsoring? And I was just like,